Okay, this is the first look at the cherry box. You can see I'm going to use pegs for the constructions to hide all the joinery. There's going to be a big window here. I don't want a lot of hardware showing the screws. I didn't just want to use flat glue on here. I wanted the box to really be tough, so you can see all my joining holes. Here's the corresponding holes. This will be wedged out just like this. Okay, right here I'm going to show you. This is going to be inlaid with walnut inside these cherry pockets here. And there's the other signal. And now it's going to pop right down inside of there in just a second. Okay, I've got it just all clamped together for a dry fit to show you. Of course, there's the inlay. There's a good view of it through the window. There's the oval window. You can see here the front of it, the angle that's in the inner wall. There'll be another wall out here going across the front of this. It'll be more or less I don't know what you would call it, a border cutout. I've got the wood, the cherry stacked over here ready to do that. You can see the peg holes that will be in the floor and in the top, and in various other places to join all the corners so that you get a nice clean view on the inside with no hardware. Okay, what I'm showing you now is the logo of the sub carved in the wood. That's too small to inlay. You would never inlay that. So what I'll do is I'll use some walnut paste, the same color as the walnut. I'll fill in the cracks and I'll let it dry, and I'll come back and I'll sand it off, and that'll look like walnut inlaid in the cherry. Here's a look at the logo that's laid into the wood now. Of course, this is a walnut paste because it's too small to do in real wood. This is actually real walnut. You can see the grain patterns. That's picked up by this centerpiece, this walnut centerpiece. And I'll put some walnut plugs in it and bring the cherry out even more. This is how I'm going to locate the bottom dowels in the floor. You put these little centers, they're called centers, in the dowel holes, and you line it up perfectly, and it'll make a nice little impression on the wood, and that'll tell me exactly where to drill into the bottom plate, the dowel holes. You can see I've built in some extra dowel holes up here. I don't need them all, but in case you do miss a center or you don't get it lined up the way you want, these plugs, you can't pull them back out once they get fully seated if they're long. And what you do is you just cut them off, sand them flat, and then you can move over to another hole if you need an extra hole. So I always try to build myself in a little room for air and a way out in case I mess up. Alright, let me show you what I'm doing here now. You can see that the wood is joined here, but I believe there's a very small crack in there. This box has inner looks through the window, so I can't put a paste or seal it with anything. It's a good thing that these were getting more trim panels, and you can see one in here now, and you got one ready to go up. When it goes up, that covers the gap perfectly, gives me a good line and without any messy glue or any kind of thing to seal it. Okay, I'm going to show you. I'm putting an inlay. This is the front of the box. We need a way to get those sub wires out, and I didn't just want to run them over the top of this frame, so I'm going to do another inlay. I've already got my donut cut. You can see I rounded it so the wires wouldn't get chafed, and that just simply drops in that hole. and that's what it'll end up looking like when I get done. I'm also using a brown glue. It's like $40. It's very expensive. I don't know why. All they had to do was just put some brown tint and regular glue, but I don't know. That's how they make their money. That way, as the glue squirts up through the cracks, it'll be brown, and when I sand it all back, it'll cover any imperfections in the circle, in the two circles, because they're not exactly perfect. And right there you can see there's the inlay curve donut that I just did. This is the pocket I've made for the light strips to be up in the top of the box. The wire will then run around this way, run down to the front of the box where it'll pick back up on the front, go back down, and exit out through the utility donut there that I've made for the subs and the light wire. And there you go. You can see the light's glued in. The wire looks really nice. Goes all the way up this way. Now I can put some walnut paste in here and cover this crack back up, and it'll look like a nice little straight line through there. There's the finished look. You can see where I've looped the wire around. Went ahead and put some walnut paste on it, so it looks really nice on the inside, even though you can't see it. Nice and tucked up into the wood. Really nice and clean looking. Okay, I wanted to show you what was going on here. Those are the holes for the terminals. This is what was provided for me for this box, and you can see they did go in there, but I broke off the back of the actual terminal there. You can see it, the little clip that comes up. These were never going to work anyway. The wood's too thick. I made the baffle extra thick to carry the weight. I had to take off all the washers and everything for this just to get it to go through. When I was tightening it up super tight, I broke off the end of the little tip for the speaker terminal. So rather than, and then you were going to see a dirty speaker terminal in the side, this pretty box on the inside. So rather than do that, what I did was I enlarged the hole. I made some more walnut plugs, and what I'll do is those will tap down inside there, and I've ordered some satin dual ending binding post to go in here, and once it goes through there, completely through there, it'll look like another inlay. So it's just turning a potential bad situation into something that should look pretty good and go with the flow of the box really well. Okay, there are the finished sanded walnut inlay plugs for the connectors. Just got through putting 2 coats of polyurethane on it. There's the other side, so you can see that's where they'll come out. And I'll show you. The ones that are coming are satin nickel. All I have here on me today are some gold ones. So just to give you a look, that's what it'll end up looking like. You can still see the nice little brown ring. Okay, so the Sinfoni box is getting finished, and it's really nice. As you can see, I'll give you a quick tour. You can see the satin nickel push terminals on each side. I've only got one of the subs, so it's in there to give you a good look at it. There's the Walnut Inlaid logo. The Sinfoni glass is oval in their logo, so that's why I made the oval glass in this logo. You can see all the walnut plugs. I was going to hide the plugs, but I decided that the contrast of the walnut plugs would go really well in the cherry. That's where your speaker wires would come out, and that's the wire for the lights. That's going to be wired up directly to his trunk dome light, so when the trunk opens, the light will come on. There's the other side of the nickel plugs on this side. Everywhere that you do see these plugs, there is a screw. And it's got some really nice bronze glass in it. And here's a look at it with the light off. Next up, we're going to do an amp rack for the same build, and the Sinfoni logo, I believe it says "For Music Lovers," will be etched into the glass for that one.